So here we are 1 week after the hailstorm. Shredded everything up. Let's take a look at how all everything's faring. This is char. So I pulled off most of the branches there that were dying in the leaves. You can see they're coming back. It just kind of set me back. These here it pretty much decimated. Same thing with those beets, because I'm not sure on the beets if that's going to be the regrowth of the leaves. Is that going to affect the continued growth of the beet root? Now that's kind of a curious thought. Celeriac, yeah, it's hanging in there, I'll say that much. The beans are starting to come back. The radishes pop back up pretty good. New Zealand spinach is doing fine. My eggplant there is going along just fine. The basil seems to be okay. It's got a lot of brown on it, and I don't know if that's from being bruised. That's what I'm assuming. The cauliflower is doing great. I picked one this morning, the first one that was ready. The pumpkins, these are Cherokee tan. They pop back, but quite frankly, there isn't any flowers. There's no fruit on it. I doubt if I'll get anything. It will run out of warm weather before they do anything. This here, same thing with this Hale's Best cantaloupe. There's no fruit on it. So, but my Armenians, they even have one growing, if you can see it down in there. Now the other cucumbers got pretty decimated, but I have a leaf here and there, and a flower here and there, and even a little cucumber there. It must have been there before the hailstorm, I'm thinking, but anyhow, so I'm just letting it go, see what it's going to do. Peppers, I pretty much had to pick most all the peppers, and then the sad part is I don't even have flowers to replace them with. Tomatoes, you know, got stripped on top pretty bad, but the tomatoes themselves are doing fine, and actually seems like, you know, like on top of here, there's flowers right there. So I know I'm probably not holding it still enough for you. So even on the areas that don't have much leaves, I'm getting flowers coming back. These here. So everything is doing not too bad. I think I'm probably doing better than I expected. I've got my celery wrapped, so it'll start blanching. Here, now these here bunching tomatoes, you can see all the ends where I had to break off all of the bad parts. But they're hanging in there, coming back. Cauliflower, or I mean cabbage, got kind of tore up. You can see it there, but they're still developing heads. Moving on. So after the hail damage, most everything is recovered, but it's put a dent in my timing. I mean, I've got less than 60 days before our first freeze now, so all this stuff that got set back is really gonna give me a setback on what I'll be able to harvest this year. But for the most part, that's the only apparent damage. So overall, I'd say it was a minor setback. I will survive. Everything's coming along. I think we'll be fine. I'll be short of cucumbers this year, but most everything else, well, I'll be short of peppers too, because it stripped all the flowers off along with all the fruit, so that really hurt. But for the most part, though, I think we'll survive just fine. So that's what it looks like 1 week after the hailstorm. And if you stay tuned, I got a little teaching thing on growing with very little water. And I'll show you a bit about that here next. So here's another way that you can do a garden in a small area that is very water conservative also. These are reusable shopping bags, cloth bags, that we fill with potting soil, and then we plant our plant into it. And it's this one here, they put it in a little wading pool, which makes it nice because then you can put a little bit of water in it. And it works out just really nice.